Shalom, all praise to the Most High. So in my previous video, I was talking about the knowledge of self, and I'm gonna go a little bit more into that as well. Let me adjust, make sure I'm in focus. All right. So I'm gonna go a little bit more into that. I'm in this work vehicle. I know some people know that, I've been asking around if anybody has like any vehicles, whether that they're not using, maybe they have an extra one that they're trying to sell, whatever. But no, this is not my vehicle. This is a work vehicle, in case people was wondering if, I was able to finally get a new vehicle. Not yet, but all praises due unto the Most High. It shall be, right? The knowledge of self. The reason why it's important that we obtain knowledge of self through the knowledge of the Most High Power is because no one knows what's good for a man's life. As much as people may try to give suggestions, as much as people try to point people in different directions and things of that nature, no one knows you like you know you. No one knows, what's good for you like what's good for you through the knowledge of the Most High. It's important that we understand that. No one knows the constructs of your life. As much as they may sit there and try to guesstimate and assume and all these different things, no one knows. And it's through the knowledge of the Most High that we're able to receive that understanding and that insight concerning our life. And if we so choose, we're able to communicate that to the people who we share close proximity with, who we share covenant with, who we share fellowship with, But even then, they only know a certain amount of what we allow them to know. And so when you don't have a knowledge of self, you feel as though you have to take whatever people hand you. You feel as though you have to accept whatever is given to you. However people choose to treat you, regardless to how they try to name you, label you, categorize you, profile you. If you don't have a knowledge of self, you'll allow those things to, become a burden. And it's so far from who you are. It's so far from your identity. It's so far from your character. It's so far from, who the Most High has called you to be. You're just so far from that. And it's important that we understand who we are so that we can live in our authentic self, right? We can live according to our ordained image, our ordained character. We don't have to put on and put off. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to put on this nature or put on some type of identity and some type of persona that has nothing to do with us. Or we don't have to put on something so that then we can be valued amongst other people. No, we can be exactly who the Most High has called us to be. And be that without fear, without feeling as though, we're offending anyone. If anyone is offended by, who we are, 9 times out of 10 is because they don't have a knowledge of who they are. Because trust and believe, if people had a true knowledge of who they were, they would not be worried about if them living their authentic self is offending you. Trust and believe, right? And so that's how we have to be. We have to not care about what people think, what people feel, right? And I'm not saying be just disrespectful. I'm not saying that you don't have a care, but what I'm saying is you just can't be in a place where you're living your life trying to please people. And when you have the knowledge of self through the knowledge of the Most High, please understand that when I'm talking about the knowledge of self, I'm really talking about through the knowledge of the one who has created us, who has created you, who has created all things. He knows more about us than we will ever know about ourselves. And he knows more about us than with people, even our own parents, right? This is why when we get older, it's almost like mind-blowing to our parents when they discover things about us, because there's things about us that's not necessarily within the DNA, right? It's not within the structures of the DNA, and it's like, where did that come from? You know? And as much as they would like to sometimes accredit it to themselves or not accredit to themselves, it has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with mama. It ain't got nothing to do with papa, right? It has everything to do with, because this is who the Most High has called us to be, what he has created us to be. And, you know, that's just what it is. I'm over here looking. I can't pull my camera out to show y'all because I don't have my long enough lens, but there's 2 deer that just pranced across the field. That's what I was looking at. But yeah, you know, the knowledge of self is truly important, and I can't stress that enough. I think the Most High, that, you know, every day I'm able to come into that revelation, I'm able to come into that understanding, because it's groomed me. It has caused me to really put some things down and pick up the things I needed to pick up. You know, it's caused me to remove myself from a lot of different things and place myself in the midst of those things that's more relative to who I am, you know. And for the longest time, I struggled because I used to live for people. I used to live for making sure that I wasn't offending people, making sure that, you know, I was being accepted by people. I struggled for a very long time with the fear of rejection. You know, I suffered for a long time dealing with that of abandonment. I dealt with, you know, low self-esteem. You know, so many different things that I have, by the grace of the Most High, you know, I've been able to overcome. I've been able to, you know, really get to the place of achieving, right? Achieving in the goals and doing the things that he has long ago instructed me to do, that I knew nothing about. And then at the time in which he revealed it to me, it was like, once again, that fear of rejection, the fear of, you know, even success. You get what I'm saying? And now I'm at the point where I'm like, you know, Most High, thank you for giving me the knowledge and the understanding that you have given me. And now that I have this knowledge and understanding, this wisdom, you know, I make it my goal to share it with other individuals. And it's a blessing. And this is why I'm saying to you guys, the knowledge of self is important. The knowledge of self through the knowledge of the Most High, right? Through the knowledge of the Creator, through the knowledge of the one who has given us life, who has given us breath, the one who has given us, you know, the power to be. Through his knowledge, you know, we're able to reconnect and do those things that are more fitting and more beneficial to who we actually are, versus trying to live a life that has nothing to do with our actual purpose. I'm trying to zoom in, zoom out type thing. I don't know what's going on here. But you know, I'm really at that place in my life where if it's not fitting to my identity, if it's not fitting to my destiny, if it's not suiting my purpose, I'm off that. And, you know, I would encourage the next person to be that same way. If it's not serving your identity, if it's not serving your destiny, if it's not serving your purpose, get off of it, get out of it, you know. And because those things become hindrances, they become blockages, they become frustrations, they become attacks, they become weapons used against us, you know. The only person we have to please is the Most High, right? The law of the Most High hangs on these two things: that we love the Most High with all our heart, all our soul, all our strength, and The second one is to love our neighbor as ourself. And if you watch my first segment dealing with the knowledge of self, my most recent video, then you'll understand that the only way that you can love your neighbor as thyself is if you have knowledge of self, right? And that knowledge of self comes through your devotion and your dedication unto the worship and the servitude of the Most High, right? When you're living a life submitted, consecrated unto Him, He reveals to you the thoughts, the plans that He has for you. By consequence, by nature, what happens is He reveals to you who you are and who you're not. You get what I'm saying? This is why years ago, back in like 2008, about 2007, 2008, one of the greatest revelations that I received is that identity, purpose, and destiny, they are all intertwined. You can't know your purpose without knowing your identity. And you can't know your destiny without knowing your purpose and your identity. And so the moment you know your identity, you can then tap into your purpose. From your purpose, you can reach that destination that the Most High has for you. But without identity, you're lost, right? Identity is the starting place. It's the breeding ground of purpose and destiny, and it's important that we understand that. And so I encourage you today, get the knowledge of self through the knowledge of the Most High Power, so that then you can start impacting or making impact the way that the Most High has ordained you to make that impact on whatever level, right? And in whatever way in which He has revealed it unto you. And we know for a fact that He will always lead us into a place that is pleasing, that's pleasing unto Him and beneficial unto ourselves, as well as beneficial to those that He has called us to. Shalom.